Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. Welcome back to my 1.9 Snapshot Creative World. Today I'm taking my pig to the market because we're now working in Snapshot 15W37A, which was released at exactly the same time as I released my last video on the previous snapshot, so bit of unfortunate timing there, but it has some new features that I thought were worth covering this weekend, so I figured I would give it a shot. I'm going to tie up Piggslriffs over here and we're going to take a look at the wares this first fella over here is selling, because there is a new shield crafting recipe. And the new shields look like this in item frames, by the way, which I think actually looks really cool as a bit of decoration. But the new crafting recipe is like so. You've got 6 wooden planks in this formation and an iron ingot over the top. So it's kind of like building a hopper out of wood or building a boat with an extra bit at the bottom and adding an iron ingot over the top like that. And that will get you a pretty nifty looking shield. I think these look fantastic as they are, but you can still add banners to them. You can color them if you want to by adding a blank banner or adding your banner of choice. I'm going to take a couple of these and I will show you how it looks. I think certain banners still look fantastic with shields, but they obviously haven't done anything to change the orientation of the image on a shield, so it's still going to lose a little bit of detail in the banner and some of them won't look too good at all. But that is still something that could change, or it's just something that we can adapt to when we want to make shields. And Piggslriffs is now playing in the fountain over here. So as soon as you've got your awesome shield, the next thing you want is a weapon. And this fellow over here is selling diamond swords and diamond axes. It looks like he doesn't want me to get the sword. But diamond swords and axes, well, swords and axes in general, have actually been rebalanced slightly. They now have a faster attack speed by 0.1, which does not seem like the biggest change in the world, but you will see it's actually a lot quicker when you're swinging a sword. It feels a lot quicker, and that's gone up from 1.5, I believe the original attack speed was, and then axes have gone from 0.9 to 1, so they are still the slowest weapon but the most powerful weapon in the game. They still do damage to shields when you run at them with a shield, and I think they're both going to be pretty effective weapons for both PvP and fighting mobs now. And the next change is something a little bit different, and it involves the rebalancing of golden apples. Now, golden apples have always been, in some people's opinion, a little bit overpowered, especially the notch apple, and in this case, regular golden apples now only give you, if you take a look at the inventory screen, 5 seconds of regeneration 1, which is only going to be enough to heal a single red heart. It also gives you 2 minutes of absorption, which you had before, and notch apples now give you a lot less regeneration. They only give you 20 seconds of regeneration 2 as opposed to regeneration 5, which was probably enough to heal about 100 hearts before. It gives you 2 minutes of absorption 4, 5 minutes of resistance and 5 minutes of fire resistance. So they're still pretty powerful, but they have just been brought down that little bit so you don't regenerate your health as much in a UHC match. Now, it is worth adding at this point that Jeb has said he is going to revisit golden apples because a few people think the nerf to regular golden apples is a little bit much. So bear in mind this could all change again very, very soon, but is not yet changed in this snapshot. So keep an eye out and there'll probably be more updates to that in future. And we've now come on through to the practice range so that I can show you something else that has been added recently. Bows can now be used in the offhand as well as the main hand. And this is something that people have requested for a while, just on the basis that it looks a lot more logical to have your bow in your offhand like this. It still doesn't use both your hands in the shooting motion, so it might seem a little bit strange to some, but you can switch between the offhand and the main hands to have a bow, which means you can now technically dual wield a ranged weapon and a melee weapon at the same time. You won't be able to, oh, and I've just made myself glowing, good work. You won't be able to block with a sword anymore, so you won't be able to block and shoot at the same time, and they both use different mouse buttons. But it might be possible to implement this in some kind of PvP strategy. If your opponent is at close range, you can knock them back with a bow and hit them with a sword at the same time, something like that. It will be interesting to see how this technique can be used. Last of all, welcome to an amplified test world which I've generated to show you guys the last thing I want to mention in this update, and that is that if you die in hardcore mode, you now have the option to spectate. If we drop off the side of this and fall to our deaths, you'll see spectate world now appears instead of just deleting the world. So you can go back from your point of death and you can take a look around everything that you've generated in the world. You can also toggle on and off the ability for spectators to generate chunks. So if you just wanted to look at the world as you made it, then you can do that. If you want to look at the world and explore what the possibilities could have been, you can do that as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name has been Pixlriffs. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and today's video was brought to you by the kind donation of Jane N. Thank you so much for donating to me on Patreon. If you want to go the extra mile and donate to me on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/Pixlriffs. There are some awesome rewards there, so I'd love it if you guys would check that out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now. Over we go. Yay! When pigs fly, and the pig is still alive. That's absolutely what I wanted. And I don't know how pigs regenerate their health. Can I feed them carrots? Will that work?